Alright, you guys. You saw the last video. This shit is crooked. Straighten the fuck out. Oh well. Alright, you saw the last video. You know that I had trouble with this recording the Ask Me Anything. So I'm doing the damn thing over. So let's do this. Let's see. The very first question is from our good friend Les of Sarah. Sarah asks, when you go back and watch your first YouTube videos, how does it make you feel? You know, I did this recently, and I don't even, you know, I actually had to watch it a couple times, and sitting here watching it, I thought, like, who is this guy? It was almost like I didn't even recognize myself. I could definitely tell that I've come a long way, and anyone who's watched that very first video, I think will come away with the same thing. You know, when I looked at it, I saw this person that was like had no hope and was just kind of had kind of given up, and you know, was kind of at his wit's ends almost. I mean, I had very little hope at that point, and it's obvious in the video. And to compare that first video with my videos now, it's like night and day. But I'm really glad that I got to do that, because it's, you know, along with all the other things that proven I've come a long way, like the loose clothes, that one video I did with the belt, you know, those physical things that remind us of how far we come. Having that video and being able to compare it to videos I do now is a good reminder as well of how far I've come. So you know, it just makes me feel good, because I can tell that I've grown. You know, as a person in this journey, I'm just almost like a butterfly coming out of its cocoon. So let's see, Rowena Smith Kersaint. If I pronounce any of these names wrong, I'm sorry. Don't mean to, but she asked, have you had any constipation problems? No, not at all. Shortly after surgery, early on in my pre-op stage, there were times when I would go like days without having a bowel movement, but not because I was constipated, but because I wasn't taking anything. I wasn't eating anything for like the first month and a half, or maybe even 2 months. I had zero appetite. I didn't want food. I didn't want protein shakes. I didn't want water. I didn't want anything. So not taking in anything, there really wasn't a need for anything to come out. So I've never really had a problem with constipation, then or now. Let's see, then she also asks, what do you love most about the new you? Probably my outlook on life, my attitude on life. You know, if I talked about it, especially on Renew, you know, about going from accepting the fact that I was gonna die and being okay with that, to having like this new life. My mindset, my attitude has completely changed, and it just has made me an overall better person. So I think that would be my answer. Jennifer Nicole Ashton asks, How has your surgery and weight loss affected your marriage? Has it made it better or worse? And has it changed your attitude towards relationships? It. I want to say it hasn't affected it much. It hasn't affected it in a negative way. But I gotta, I mean, obviously when you go through something like this, something this big, it is going to have some kind of effect on your family, you know, your wife, kids, the people around you, close to you. So it's affected it in that I think my wife kind of feels a little left out sometimes because she's not as involved in the things that I like to do now, you know, the working out, those types of things. That's just not something she's into. So it does kind of, I think she hasn't said it, but I think it has kind of made her feel a little left out. I don't think it's driven a wedge between us in a negative way. You know, she's loved me unconditionally when I was at my heaviest, and you know, she feels the same way now. So it I don't it really hasn't affected it in a negative way. I mean, but you know, it has affected it, and you know, a little bit, but not in a negative way. And then it asks, has it changed your attitude towards relationships? A little bit, in that it allows me to appreciate them more. So that's it. VSG Christopher asks, now that you have the R&Y, do you think you would be happy with the VSG, or do you think the R&Y meets all your expectations? Shortly before surgery, I was actually really close to switching from the Roux-en-Y to the VSG, and well, I didn't make the switch because my insurance had already approved it for the Roux-en-Y, and in order they would have covered the VSG, but I would have had to have resubmitted all the paperwork all over again. And you know, at that point, I wanted it to hurry up and happen. I didn't want any more delays. But you know, I wanted to go to the reason I wanted to switch to the VSG was because I started thinking, okay, with the Roux-en-Y, I'm really gonna have to give up everything, right? All the foods I love, and I know with the VSG, there are things that you can't have either, or will still affect you. Dumping isn't as bad with the VSG, but it is possible. But my thinking was, okay, well, if I get the VSG, I can still enjoy the foods that I like, not in the quantities that I could, but at least I could still have them. And I didn't want to really give them up. But then I thought, you know, that's just going to be I'm setting myself up for failure. I needed the Roux-en-Y to help force me to give up, you know, those foods, the sugary foods, the greasy foods. Those are things that I knew that if I was still able to have those, then I would, and it kind of defeats the purpose. So I knew that you know, ultimately the Roux-en-Y was going to be best for me, and so far it has met you know, all of my expectations. I can't have anything greasy. I get really sick. You know, I can have some sugary stuff. I'm not out eating, you know, sugary stuff, but I have had it in the past to try to gauge, you know, how much I can have. Like some people, you know, a day or in a sitting can have, you know, only so many grams of not protein, so many grams of sugar before they get sick. You know, once they get past a certain point, then it starts affecting them. So I have tried some sugar things just to, you know, kind of judge where I'm at. But for the most part, I'm not. Well, I'm not out, you know, eating all that stuff because it will make me sick, and it has. Bill Nehemiah. He asks, have you or others noticed a new personality developing with you, positive or negative? I don't. Well, no one's told me that they have. I feel comfortable saying that a negative one hasn't developed, a positive one has developed. I could see it myself. You know, just having this new life, my, well, I think it's enhanced my, I've always like was a really cool guy, and I've had a great personality, and you know, even at my biggest, and now those things just come out more because I'm more confident. So I notice it, a positive one, but I don't. No one's ever told me, you know, that they've noticed, you know, like a different side of me, a bad side of me, a negative side of me, and I try to make sure that doesn't happen, because sometimes, you know, this surgery can change people, and you know, I want to be the same James that I was at 460 pounds and now. So you know, I've noticed a positive one, or I think it's helped the one that I already have just kind of come out more. Let's see, oh my, Jennifer Johnson, what was a turning point in your weight loss story? What made you decide to have surgery? The second time around, I watched a video from the very first person I ever started following on YouTube was Holly Rose. She doesn't make videos anymore. I think she only has like 3 videos, but she runs a blog, and she's, you know, active on Twitter. I think it's 300 Pounds Down is her blog and Twitter. And I'll try to put a link below in the video that I saw from her. When I saw that video, you know, I was at a point where I'd given up all hope, but when I saw this video, I saw the female version of me, and I saw this woman who there's a picture in there of her, and you just look, the look on her face is like I felt, no hope. And then of course in the video, you know, it shows up to date pictures, and it shows how she talks about you know, going from one end to the other, like I've went from one end to the other. When I saw that video, it really gave me hope and said, you know what, I really need to do something. I mean, there is, I don't have to settle for this. I don't have to live this way anymore. So that just lit a fire under me to really look into having the surgery again, and to, you know, put my big boy underwears on and you know, finally do something about it. So, you know, that's what the second time around, you know, what helped me to decide to go ahead and do it again. And you know, the turning point is just going from accepting death, and then realizing that doesn't have to be the only option. Her video just really did something to me, and really encouraged me to jumpstart my journey. All right, I'm gonna stop this video here, and I'll pick back up. We'll be back.